All right, so now I'm going to start the show. So, hey, y'all, it's time once again for another Yankey Rants. Today, I'll be ranting about women that use their children against their exes. I have one of these, so I'm kind of an expert on this topic, unfortunately. And I want to clarify what I'm talking about here so we're all on the same page. What I'm talking about is men like me who love their children and would literally do anything for them, but they are kept apart from them by a vindictive, selfish, and hateful mother that thinks her children are just little walking paychecks. These women who do this feel they are owed the world. These aren't all women. You know who I'm talking about. You know, these women had a baby, which is somehow all the father's fault, and he should now be crippled financially throughout the child's entire development. But since these type of women feel they are innocent in all things, nothing should ever be hard for her. She should, and sadly does, get government assistance such as food stamps and housing assistance, while the father gets to live on half a paycheck and a great big fuck you. Now, ruining the father financially should be enough for this type of woman, but this type of woman is petty and vindictive, and she sees her children as weapons to be used against her ex, completely forgetting that while she is using the children to hurt the father, she is also hurting the children. She'll never see that either. She's too selfish to ever see that. This type of woman only thinks of herself. She gets off on the fact that she has the power to withhold the children from a good father who loves them. And she loves knowing how much it hurts him to not get to see his kids. She gets off on it. So much so that she can't even see or consider for a second that what she's actually doing is taking a loving father away from her children. She's so selfish that she is literally committing child abuse just to hurt her ex, stealing the children's own father from them only to hurt him. It's ridiculous. And like I said, I have one of these. You know, I don't want to get into too many specifics because my friends are friends with my friends. My children are friends with me on Facebook. You know, and I'm going to have to find some way to block them from this because I don't want them to hear about their mother like that. So I really don't know how to proceed with this rant now. Now that I can see myself on screen and I realize what I just did, please don't watch this, kids. No, but seriously, it's awful. And I had a whole different rant written. I worked on a different one all day. And I saw a video about this very thing, and it triggered me. You can look on my Facebook page. You'll probably see it. Now, that didn't go very long because I just realized I can't really talk about that much on Facebook. I guess I can. You know, we'll just talk about it this way. We'll use it in vague terms, the way I've been doing. So you have these women, and they just don't care. You know, it's just, they don't care that they're stealing a good father away from those kids. You want to talk about deadbeat dads, and there's tons of those. I know some. I mean, I know a lot. But if you got a good father who loves his children and wants to be part of their life and does the right, tries to do the right things, like, you know, tries to give you your child support and all of that, and, you know, is there whenever, why would you keep that from your children? I don't care how upset you are with that person. You're not with that person anymore. And your children aren't upset with that person. That's their father. They love him. And you're stealing that from them. You know, they're never going to get their childhood back. So yeah, when my kids are older, they'll have a relationship with me. You know, they'll come around more and I'll see them more and, you know, we'll get past all this, but they'll never get their childhood back. So Lisa says it goes both ways, Shawn. Now, Lisa, how is that? So I'm talking about good fathers. I'm not talking about bad fathers. So do you mean that you're seeing the woman's side of it, or do you mean that there's women who the fathers keep the kids away from the women? That might be what you mean. John says some women are horrid, bro. Because a woman has a badge doesn't make her good. No, it doesn't. And, you know, luckily I found a really good woman that does the things I need for me and is there for me as a partner and a teammate and understands these things. But my first one was a child, and she still is. Probably always will be. you got a deadbeat dad. No, no, no. Deadbeat dads, like I just said, rampant. And fuck those guys. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about good dads. You know, that want to be involved and that do what they're supposed to do. Not the ones that run and don't pay their child support. And, you know, even though child support, let's be frankly honest, is way too high. You know, half of my income is too much. That's too much. I'm sorry. You know, I touched on this in the rant, but you helped make that baby. You got to help with the responsibilities. You don't need half of my paycheck. What am I supposed to live on? How am I supposed to buy my kid's birthday present? And that money ain't for you. You know, I see you driving a new car and, you know, always got the latest cell phone and you always got expensive things. That money's not for you. You know, why my kids got socks with holes in them? You're getting half my paycheck. Why do I call sometimes and they don't know what they're going to have for dinner? Your pantry should be full of food. That money is all for my kids. That's the other thing. You know, people that use child support for things that aren't child support. John says those types you have to keep away. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. The same goes for a woman. If you find out that a guy is bad news, you get away from him before you make babies with him. It's too fucking late then. Lisa says he never paid 1 cent and undermined my parenting every chance he could. Now, you know what? I see that. I see guys that get away with paying nothing. How do they do that? I lost my job. Some of you know this. 3 or 4 weeks ago. I'm already getting letters. And it won't be long before they come after me. They tried to put me in jail before. When I worked for a movie gallery went out of business. And so I lost my job. They closed nationwide. And they went after me. The lawyers tried to put me in jail. They wanted to put me in jail over child support. Now, how the fuck am I going to pay it in jail? And they'll keep accruing it too. And then when you get out of jail, they hit you with a damn bill that you'll never be able to pay off for the rest of your life. Because now you're got a record. And you haven't worked in 6 months to a year because you've been sitting in a cell. Yes, Helen, I have been to court and tried to get it adjusted. And also, I'm behind. That's why it's 50%. But the reason I'm behind is because my lawyer, when I was going through the divorce, told me to pay her. And I was paying her all through the divorce. But afterwards, the child support people, they told me that those are gifts. It didn't matter that the receipt said child support and my kids' names and everything. We had receipts. I had a receipt book. It didn't matter. It was gifts. So I started off behind. And then when Movie Gallery went out of business, I got further behind. So I'm behind. They take half my paycheck. So Kenny says, why do women think they're automatically entitled to child support simply because they're the mother? Aren't they just as financially responsible for the welfare of the children as the father? Yes. And I touched on that in the rant too, Kenny, because you know, like, I can only use mine for an example. Or we know the type of woman I'm talking about. I'm not talking about all women. I'm talking about the kind of women that are vindictive, the kind of women that buy themselves brand new purses with their child support instead of buying groceries, the kind of women that use their kids as weapons, those women. They feel entitled. It just seems that way. They feel like they had a baby. That's a walking paycheck. They're entitled to that paycheck. And, you know, that man owes them money for 18 years. And then they're also going to get food stamps from the government. And they're also going to get housing assistance. And that's the way that's their career. All right, Willie says, I raised 3 children on my own. I choose not to go after the other parent, only because I made enough money to support them. If I struggled, I would go after some support. No, they should pay you. There should be child support. My dad did that for my mom, too. My dad had custody of me and my brother, and he never made my mom pay child support. You should pay something. You know, I kind of think that people should be able to work it out amongst themselves, but if you can't, you know, like me and my ex are oil and water, so there's no way we could have ever worked anything out, but we could have went to a mediator, and it should be more fair. Like, I still have to put a roof over my head. I still have my kids over to the house. I still got to feed them while they're there. I don't get any of that stuff. I don't get food stamps. Why do they got to eat macaroni and cheese made with water while they're at my house? Because, you know, you're getting half my check and you're not even filling the pantry with groceries at your house. And you send them over to my house with socks that have holes in them. Like, how in the shit is that right? You're taking half my paycheck. They should have new socks. You better make, you know, if I'm getting half of somebody's check, to take care of something that is our shared responsibility, and I'm taking half of their paycheck to do it, I'm not sending them over to that person's house with holes in their socks. They got brand new socks on every time they go over there. I took half his fucking paycheck. All right. They're not even allowed to bring clothes to my house. I'm supposed to get their own clothes, groceries, all of that on half a paycheck. And I got to put a roof over my own head. Now, how in the fuck is that fair? What judge on the planet thinks that's fair? You know, and if I can't manage to stay out of a cardboard box in that arrangement, I get to go live in a cage. So yeah, upkeep your car, maintain shelter on half a paycheck, half of $8 an hour. And then, you know, if you can't do that, we'll lock you in a box. All right, so Helen says, my daughter's ex never paid anything. Daughter eventually said she didn't want support because he wasn't paying anyway. And how do they do that? How do these women, I knew women like that. I do know women like that don't go after support. Why? The state does it, don't they? These women have food stamps and government housing. Whenever you're on that, the state goes after the father. In my state, in Missouri, if you are on welfare or government assistance, then the state goes after the father. Lisa says I have a shit lawyer. Well, you know, when she threw me out, I told you, movie gallery went out of business. And I had a car with a busted transmission, and all my stuff was in a broken down car. And that lawyer took my case with no money. He let me make payments. So I didn't have a choice as far as lawyers went. The legal rights places for men, for single fathers, they wouldn't even touch me for less than $500, and I was homeless. So, all right, Trevor says they should make it where they need proof of where the money is being spent. Yes, you should have to show receipts. They should be audited. Why not? You're taking that much money from someone else, supposed to be for a purpose. If you can't show receipts to match that, then the other person should get to pay less. You know, if all you got receipts for is new purses and phones, you know, it's shit for you, then you don't get your check next week. I get to keep it. However they decide it works. But yeah, they need a system for that shit. You need to monitor it. All right, so Helen says he kept refusing to pay and asking for forms to fill out so he wouldn't have to pay. You know, and that's the other side of the coin. We'll talk about that for a second, just to be fair. Deadbeat dads, y'all can go fuck yourselves. Seriously. If you have children and you don't feel the need to support them or be there for them or be a part of their life, and you think you can just walk away and not help and not do anything and that's not your responsibility, you're a piece of shit. I'm telling you man to man right now that you are not a man. You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit with a penis. You're not a man. So I'm not defending deadbeat dads. I'm talking about good dads. But just to touch on that, because I'm mentioning the bad mothers, deadbeat dads are pieces of shit. You're not a man and you're not worth anything. I got no respect for you. If you're a guy and I could like you, I could be like, man, this guy's really cool. And then the minute you mention to me you got kids you never see, I lose all respect for you. I don't want to talk to you no more. I'm just like, you're a piece of shit. Yeah, how could you do that? How could you do that? How could you have children and not want to be with them all the time? I miss being able to walk down the hallway and watch my kids sleeping. How the fuck do you walk away from that? I don't even understand that. I can't comprehend it. It doesn't make sense. I know it happens. It happens way too much. But I don't even fucking understand it. I don't know how you could do that. So Willie says it's the same here in California. If you're on assistance, they go after the absent father, which they should. I should pay child support. It just should be maybe a third of my check at most with me being behind. Not half. That's too much. It needs to be fair. It needs to be fair, and you need to be able to survive on what they leave you with. You know, I'm all for helping out, but I have to be able to live too. You know, I can eat ramen noodles, but I got to have a roof over my head so I got some place to bring my children. All right, so Helen says he always had money for tats and drugs. Of course he did. Of course he did. I never met a deadbeat dad that didn't have money for drugs, beer, and tats. Every one of them's got money for that, and trucks with big fat tires too, because they got little bitty wieners and they got to compensate. All right, Lisa says reverse what I said. He offset child support with custody. He never was around for his portion of custody. How do you do that? I'm barely, like I said, I got one of those, the mothers I'm talking about. So my kids sometimes I don't see them for a month, and it kills me. I cry myself to sleep sometimes. How in the fuck do you just not go? How do you not go get your kids if you're able to? I don't understand that shit, and I know people that are like that. But since I have no respect for them, I don't ask them any fucking questions because I know they don't have an answer I'm going to appreciate anyway. And if I keep letting them talk, I'm going to want to punch them in the face. But John says, geez, going to a hooker once a week is cheaper and less headache. And being stuck to someone that busts your soul each and every day. He's right. And my first marriage I would have probably saved so much money if I would have just, done what John said instead of marrying her. But I wouldn't have my children, so I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it, but John's right. Lisa says, how many kids? I have 3 with her. And I have 6, but those 3 are from my new relationship. Oh, Babe has already answered the question. Oh, no, she didn't. She's talking about something else. She says, I have 3 kids from the same man, and he has seen his kids 5 times in 12 years. He pays no child support. I'm not on assistance, so it's harder for me to go after him. And that's my Baba's, and she's not on any assistance. So she's a tough-ass woman. She is a badass. Really is. And he's a piece of shit. And I don't understand how you could do that. Luckily they have me around, but because fuck him anyway. Sorry. I hope they don't see this either. I feel real bad now because I want my kids to see this. All right. Helen says there's a percentage guides here in Illinois for a number of children to determine the amount. Okay. Is it fair? If you were a man and they determined that amount, would you be able to live on what they left you with? Trevor says the system is broken. Yeah, and it's designed that way. Now, when it was designed that way, women were at a disadvantage. They were. They couldn't even vote. They couldn't work or earn at a level of a man. Now, my ex-wife makes good money. She does. She's in marketing, and why in the fuck does she need so much of my money? What? Yeah, that's too. She lives with her grandmother. She doesn't even pay any bills, but she doesn't tell the state that, I'm sure, because there would be no food stamps and housing assistance if she did. How the fuck she get away with that? I don't know, but some people just nothing ever touches them. It just seems like karma's never gonna come for that motherfucker. It don't make no sense. Like it should, but it doesn't. And that's what makes me lose faith in things like karma. Because I know she's got a fucking big ass awakening coming. And where the fuck is it? Nowhere to be found. She don't got a care in the world. Turn her ass saying, Kenny, I have. They don't give a shit. I'm just a deadbeat dad. You know what I mean? When those people come around, she's queen innocent. They're very good play actors, these women. They don't get all that without being good play actors. So when they come around, oh, he's a liar. Oh, my God. I'm taking care of my sick grandmother. Well, I know that that's not true. All right, so John says my dad wasn't around. He paid child support, but it's hard to have a relationship with him. Plus, he has PTSD because of the war. Not a bad guy. It's just tragic. I totally get that. I've known guys like that. My stepdad was like that. My stepdad was silent. He never really talked. And him and my mom loved each other. I knew that. But he was very quiet. He would come in every night. He would drink 3 tall boys of beer, and he would pet a teddy bear. All right. And he would watch TV for about 3 or 4 hours, and then he would go to bed. That was every day. The man never hardly ever spoke. But he did have flashbacks of Vietnam, and Vietnam fucked him up. So, and his kids were distant from him too. Those guys, we fucked those guys up, man. It's hard to even be mad at them. You can't live a normal life in society after what they made you do. All right. Lisa says, my ex took my kids and made me quit a federal job and chase him down. That's crazy. That's some Feed dropped out, guys. I'm back now, I think. Sorry about that. Mark Babel says it's a shame that a father pays child support and is a good father isn't able to see his kids. It is a shame. You know, I do the right things. I do pay my child support. And, you know, I love my kids. You know, I go to their events. I go to their school functions. Those she can't keep me out of. But she doesn't think it's important for my kids to have a relationship with their father. Yeah, I know, Helen. I haven't had one that hasn't failed yet, have I? I think the one on the cell phone, the conspiracy theories and chill on the cell phone, I think that one ran all the way through, didn't it? I might just have to switch to the cell phone, guys. All right, everybody says I'm good now. So, yeah, but it's just I don't understand these parents, either one, male or female, that can do these things. That can either walk away from their children or use them as a weapon. I don't understand either one. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I don't like her either. We're like oil and water. We can't talk, but we don't fucking have to. We can exchange the kids silently. This ain't about me and you anymore. We made babies. It's about them. They're my babies too. You know, and I'm their dad. It ain't right. It ain't right. Thank you, Steve. No, Helen, I don't either. I'll never understand it. A child does need his father and mother, Babels. They do. You're stealing that from them. You're taking something from them they'll never get back. They're developing. Their minds are developing. Their emotions are developing. They're learning things. My boys need their father. You know, you need a male role model. You have a good male role model, and you're depriving your children of it. Now, how does that make any sense? If you've got a good father to your children, why would you keep them from it when you have all these women that don't have that, like Babel? Their father or her ex is a deadbeat. He's a piece of shit. Now, she'd love to have had someone like me, but these people they never dealt with that. They don't care. They're not that they've never dealt with it. It's that, from my experience, is that they're so selfish they don't give a shit. It's all about them. Me. I had this baby. Now you owe me. No, we both owe them. It's now about them, and it's both of us. We both owe them. They're our responsibility now. It's not, oh, look at this. I got this. Now you owe me. No, we both owe them. And you got somebody that wants to do the right thing, and you're just scoffing at it like it's nothing. Well, it's not nothing. You know, you women that do this to these men, these good fathers, and you keep them from their children, you're doing yourself a disservice as well. Think about it. You know, you could go out. I know the type of woman that I'm talking about loves to go clubbing and loves to go out and get some strange D. So you could do that because you got a babysitter that's just waiting to see his kids. But you can't let him see him because you know it hurts him. So you'd rather go ask mama to babysit the kids so you can go out clubbing. You make do, don't you? All right, well, I'm going to stop. You guys want to talk about something else? This is your turn. It's been your turn for a while, actually. I'm just excited because, like I told you, these personal ones, they get carried away. I'm surprised that I didn't get more emotional. I think I'm trying not to bust my other tooth. But why don't somebody else bring something up? Let's see. Does anybody else want to talk about something else, or do you like this topic? We can stay on this topic. But, it's only been 29 minutes, and I usually try to give you guys an hour. I just feel like I'm beating a dead horse. I caught myself being redundant there. I'm saying the same things over and over again. I do that sometimes if I get emotional. So let's see. Nobody's got anything to say. What's going on with you guys? Anything going on with you guys that you want to talk about? We got some time here. I usually go to about 10. So anybody here want to talk about anything else? Did you guys see that I shared it today on Facebook? There was a story. Donald Trump had some fake Time magazines printed to hang in his buildings. He had a cover of himself on Time magazine, but it's fake. It's not real. And he had it put in all of his buildings and resorts. And Time magazine wants him to remove those from the walls. Mr. Fake News had his own fake news made. Of course, right? I mean, everything the fucker does is hypocritical. And then as another side note, Rant, just a little one, since no one's asking anything, and we're probably going to wrap up early tonight. I don't know if my feed is interrupted, because last time my feed got interrupted, I couldn't see any comments. Am I still on, man? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna tell this story, and then I'll do my plugs and wrap up unless somebody talks. Um, Babe, I can't. No. Hold on a second. Why am I not getting my comment? All right, Babes is gonna read my comment. What now? Shawn wants to know if the Republicans will repel AHA. I think they're going to do everything they can, John, to repeal the AHA. They're trying everything they can to tear it down. I hope not. I was watching a protest last night. These people were in. I wish I remember what senator's office, but I was watching the live feed and I was terrified they were going to come and pull these people out at any moment. It's disgusting what's going on with this healthcare right now. Their bill that they proposed. I was watching Warren Buffett talk today, and he was saying that the tax cut, just one of the tax cuts, this is only one of them in the new Republican bill, would give him an extra $600-something thousand a year. He said he knew people that would give him an extra over millions of dollars a year extra in a tax cut. Does somebody like Warren Buffett need a tax cut? I don't think so. The Russian stuff, what'd you say? What was her name? Jennifer said that Van Jones came out and said that the Russia stuff was a nothing burger. It is. And every journalist you see that's still pushing that shit is a liar. Because a lot of people have already come around and started saying that it's fake. You know, so any journalist you see still spewing that shit is a propaganda artist. That's all they are. The Russia thing is bullshit, guys. John's talking about how the red states vote against their own best interest. They do. And they're tricked into doing it with guns and religion. They don't care about anything else. Their guns and their religion. They'll leave themselves poor and broken over guns and religion. Because they also, the other thing that they beat into your head down south, I grew up in Kentucky, which isn't real down south, but there's mountainous areas. And those people are very prideful. And you're basically a millionaire that's down on his luck right now. You're eventually going to be one of those guys. So why hate on those guys? They're just hardworking guys. They really believe that shit, that guys like a Donald Trump worked hard to get where he is. No, they worked hard at fucking people like you over. They didn't do any hard work. They got Trump on obstruction? Good. You know, did you see where that blonde from Fox, I watched this on, I don't remember who I was watching this. Oh, John Oliver. There was a blonde from Fox that was interviewing Trump about the Comey tapes. She was like, well, why'd you say you had tapes? She tweeted out that you had tapes. And he's like, oh, it was a strategic move. I was trying to get him to tell the truth. And he goes, which he did. So Trump just backed up that everything Comey said was true. His dumbass just did that in this interview on Fox. The reporter didn't catch it because she don't give a fuck. She's just a model with a pink dress on. But he did. He went ahead and admitted that everything Comey said in his testimony was true. Because he's fucking stupid. But yeah, I hope they do get him for obstruction. But Pence ain't going to be any better, guys. And it doesn't get any better on down the chain. So, you know, it don't get any better. You don't want Orrin Hatch or Paul Ryan either. So you're going to have to impeach like 17 people before you get to somebody that we can even work with. They got that shit set up in such a way that you don't get a better option. Like, I mean, yes, let's do it. Impeach, 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 impeach. We'll get each one of them crooked fuckers. But I'm just saying, we got a lot of impeaching to do. All right. Well, until Babies reads me a new question, I'm going to do my plugs here. All of my shows here on Facebook that I do here are crowdfunded. That's how I make money from these shows, which I don't make any money from these shows. But I hope to do this as a job. I'm going to do these shows from now on out. So I got 3 a week. I've got this one, Yankey Rants, is on every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central. I also do Yankey Show, which is my baby. That's on Friday at 9 p.m. Central. That one's a comedy news show. So show up Friday at 9 and you'll get that one. And we also interact at the end, just like this. On Mondays, I do a fun show. It's Conspiracy Theories and Chill. That one comes on at 9 too. And so every one of these shows is every week at 9 p.m. Central, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And you can support all of what I'm doing here by using these links here. Hopefully that worked. Yeah, it did. So that is a pretty little promo I wrote. So it's got all of my links on it. It's got a link to my YouTube channel, a link to my blog. You know, all the things that I'm creating for you guys to be a voice for the progressive movement and to give you guys things that you can share and help cover issues that you want covered. And speaking of that, I could use topics for rants in the future. If you want to leave me stuff in the comments or even message me, go ahead, because I need topics to write about and things I might not have heard about. You might want to hear a rant that I hadn't thought about yet. So let me know if you want what you want to hear in future rants or conspiracies that you'd like me to talk about during Conspiracy Theories and Chill. I know Lisa wants Agenda 21. I'm working on that. If you think of something else you like, a conspiracy that you like that maybe I don't even know about, tell me about it and I'll do a show about it. Because this is for you guys. I want to make something you like, so you'll want to share and you'll want to show up every week, and you'll also want to support the show. And even if you can't support me through the donations, you can support me for free by clicking like and by sharing my videos, telling your friends. Just tell people about it. And that's free. I love free stuff. I'm poor. So, you may not have anything to give me, but that helps me just as much, if not more. So that's great too. Now, the last thing I want to plug here is there are nationwide vigils for Seth Rich, nationwide candlelight vigils for Seth Rich being held all throughout the country on July 10th. I am hosting one in Missouri, in Jefferson City at the Capitol. I'll probably start it starts getting dark around 9. So about 8:30, we're going to start because I want to get there early and I want to speak. And then I want time for people to ask questions and for us to be able to talk to people about Seth. Then we're going to do our vigil, probably sing some songs. These are going to be very respectful events, not protests. They're candlelight vigils. And this is going to be positive exposure to what happened to Seth and what's going on with the Seth Rich murder, to let people know about it, because the mainstream media is not reporting on it. So we figure we're going to do these vigils. We're going to bring awareness to Seth in a way that's respectful. We're going to dress nice, no protest signs, no chanting, loud protest things. I don't want any of that. I want to hold candles and sing songs and talk about Seth. So that's on July 10th. And if you want to get with me on how to set up your own vigil, if you don't have one going on by you, get with me on Messenger and I'll put you with the right people and you can set up your own vigil for Seth. We want to light up the whole country on July 10th. So that's it for my plugs. Do I have any more questions, Mabel? All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming and watching the show. I will see you Friday I will try to live stream it, Steve. I will try to live stream it. I'm going to cover it for sure. I'll try to live stream it too, though. I got to get somebody to go with me to run a camera. So because I got to be able to interact and be with the people. I'm running the event. So somebody has to be there to film it. If anybody wants to volunteer, if anybody lives in Missouri and wants to volunteer to film the event for me, that would be amazing, because otherwise I'm going to have to film it and host it. So again, thank you guys for coming. I'll see you Friday at 9 p.m. for the Yankee show. Thanks again, guys.